Cheers folks and welcome to my channel. It is war number 2 in season number 7 and today we're meeting the X-Men J11. But before I get to that war, I actually have my first fan request, and as I'm trying to be as responsive as possible, I'll of course respond to that and give a big shout out to my friends and fans at Polish Legion Double X, and greets to all you guys. I heard Polish Legion is a power that moves forward, and I wish you all the best for this season number 7. But now back to the war against the X-Men. The X-Men are an alliance that has also been consistently placed in Master now over the last couple of seasons. So very, very strong alliance, very strong matchup, and also expectedly a very tough defense. Now, I won't have many of my fights to show because I actually had to log out during the war because of some family urgency. But I again got some videos also of my fellow teammate Psyure to complete the path and also to show especially a boss fight in the end, which I hope can be very useful and show his skills, but also to show how to fight a certain champ on that boss node. For my path number 1, I took Corvus Glaive, Proxima and Iceman this time. Iceman for the poison node, the rest with Corvus Glaive, or supposedly with Corvus Glaive. I didn't need him so much in the end, but again, that was a different topic. And started again on this left side, and the first nodes on this left side were again empty, so basically I just used the evening to use up my energy, and then basically continue next morning on the first real fights. And the first fight that I had to face was then on node 19, and before we face our opponents on our different nodes, what we do of course is we boost up, even though in the beginning when we're still in, let's say, the section 1, the boosting is rather low to save the big boosts for later when we meet the mini bosses and bosses and so on. So the first node, node 19, a critical hit node, which means that basically all the critical abilities are enhanced, and also there is a power leak to critical hits, so the critical hits cause power drain, 50% chance, and also then increased critical rate, critical damage, and critical effectiveness. So what I always say about this one node is just don't get hit. Don't get hit and you'll be fine, because the moment that you don't get hit means that you can't suffer from any of those critical hits, and that means that you don't suffer from any of these enhanced abilities. And Winter Soldier, also here a good warm-up fight, because you know, anyways on this node you can parry stun him, and then his special 1 is quite easy to evade, so that's the only special I actually like him to get to, so he doesn't get to his special 2. That one is a bit more difficult, that one's a bit more tricky, or you take at least a bit more damage on the block damage from that one. So just try not to get him more tired than a special 1, and then it's much easier to evade the special 1 and to counter attack directly. And then I was moving forward to what I said, the poison node, which was a rank 4 Mystic champion. And on that poison node you have inflicting poison for 100% health, taking over 60 seconds, and then enhanced poison abilities by 40% on top. And also the attacker's power, my power is drained every 25 seconds. So with Iceman, and I was assuming to fight a Mordo on this node, you know, with Iceman you can actually parry stun Mordo, and he does not evade for as long as cold snaps on. So the only thing I have to watch out on this node really is, because I'm losing power every 25 seconds, is to still get to my special 1, or get to fire off my special 1 while I still get power, so that I can inflict the next cold snap on Mordo. And once that cold snap is on, I can again parry stun him. And then what I try to do is try to corner him. So because when he's cornered, it's easier to heavy attack him when he has his power gain phase. Unfortunately here, because usually when he has his power gain phase, he does not attack anymore. He just stands there and defends. Except for the very last phase where he actually then fired off his special one all of a sudden, which he normally never does. But okay, took some damage, but also again, this was supposed to be the only fight that I take with Iceman, and Iceman of course also has his ice armor protection, so all of that was very, very calculated risk that in the end made it that I could take down Mordo without further problems. And then I unfortunately had to leave, but fortunately I got Psyure, my fellow teammate, to record 2 fights, the especially difficult ones, and allow me to use them for this video. The first one being a rank 5 Korg on node number 50, Bane. So this Korg has 176,000 health because he gets plus 400% health from this node. And then on top, as you know, Bane, which is depending very much on how much health a champion currently has to see how much damage it inflicts. And also, once the Bane timer runs out, it would transfer from Korg then to Domino. So what he has to make sure is whenever the timer is about to run out, he has to make sure that he hits Korg, and also because he still had dexterity on, make sure that he's able to evade Korg's special attacks. But what is very, very smart while playing with Domino is, of course, that you can actually you have a higher chance of stunning Korg, parry stunning Korg, and also you have a higher chance of not suffering any Thorns damage when you hit him with a medium attack, and you also have a chance that he does not get one of his charges when you evade or when you hit him in the block. And that was very, very smartly played. I think he hit all the timings perfectly when the Bane timer was about to expire and move on to the next phase. So very well done, very well fight. A rank 5 Korg on this node is probably the most difficult opponent you can meet at the stage. Now that the thing is out, maybe the thing also is quite difficult. But that was it for the Bane node, and then he also recorded actually the final boss node. And the final boss this time was a Morningstar. And you would think a Morningstar, is Domino actually a good matchup? I think Domino, or you wouldn't maybe think so from the beginning, basically because you think Domino can bleed. But thing is that, of course, with her lucky ability, she has, of course, a lower probability of actually get a bleed. And then what happens also as part of her abilities is that she has a chance to shrug off a bleed prematurely. And then when she does that, she actually gains 10% of her max power instantly. So actually, the bleed can help her to get to her special 2 quicker, which of course with all the boosts and with all her critical abilities gives her just crazy damage output and guarantee a quick takedown of Morningstar overall. And as you can also see, what helps is to have Coagulate and Willpower Mastery to just make sure that the bleed damage that you actually get from a boss rank 5 Morningstar is quite minimal, and you see Domino is not losing a lot. And with that, I already can say up front, we did win this war number 2 against the X-Men. Very, very good for us, very needed, and we just hope that we continue our streak now for the rest of the season. And if you found this video useful, please feel free to give it a like. If you're new to the channel, then please feel free to hit the subscribe button, and I hope to see you very, very soon on my channel. Cheers, folks.